So Dragon Ball Super episode 56 aired, and it was one of the best episodes to date in Dragon Ball Super, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinions, to be honest. It had a lot of moments in it that were just like, whoa, okay, we finally have a little bit of suspense going on here. But there are still a few things in the back of my mind here that I'm going to talk about. So for today's episode, basically to recap, what happens is they show up in the future. Trunks looks cool for a moment. I can guess that's the only reason why they did that. And he eliminates the projectiles. They were on their way to Goku, as if Goku needed that. Somehow he didn't, but whatever. And he explains that that is not Goku Black, and he wonders where Mai is. And so the guys from the Resistance take him to where Mai is holed up, and they have this emotional scene with Trunks seeing Mai. He's like, oh, I thought you were dead, and all this other stuff. And she rubs his hair like, oh, men shouldn't say things like that. And I was like, oh, get out of here with this. It actually did give me a little chills, though, seeing that raw emotion on Trunks' face. And then also, it was really, really cool seeing Vegeta just like smirk for a second, and then the screen pans out to Goku smiling at him all up in his face, and Vegeta sees that, and he like stops smiling hella fast. I was like, bro, stop it. You're a softie, and you know it. Stop it. So Vegeta tells everybody to move out the way, and at this point, by the way, a keynote is that I'm pretty sure that they said that the survivors there are the only ones remaining. I don't think there are any other humans. So basically, yeah, that's kind of sad, to be honest. It just basically shows what state that future's in after being repeatedly tortured by all of these apocalyptic events. So basically, Vegeta pulls out some capsules that Bulma made in preparation, and they've got nothing but a slew of food, and everybody just chows down, and Vegeta's like, oh, he gives the rest to Mai, like, here, there's more in there, etc., etc. So once that's done, Trunks has some moments with the kids there and the people there. He is basically an inspirational figure to them. You know, he gives them hope to a degree, and he plays with the kids and whatnot, and Vegeta is just really, really enjoying seeing the interaction with his son and the way that all these people are just enamored by Trunks, even though I don't really know how much they particularly know him, because they say things like, oh, a friend of Mai's is a friend of ours and things like that. So honestly, they know Mai, but they must know Trunks by extension. So that tells me Trunks may not be directly a part of the Resistance, but may work with them, of course, because he's the only real warrior there. Because these guys get into situations where they're basically trying to fire guns and missiles and projectiles at Black. It doesn't do anything, but at the same time, can you blame them? I mean, they have no other means of protecting themselves. So basically, they cut to like Mai continuing to fight Black in the time that Black went back to the future. And one thing I want to note and kind of point out about Black, I don't know how I feel about this. Black basically wants to eliminate humanity. That means not just people on Earth, but as we talked about, like the Barbaries were humans and stuff like that. He wants to eliminate humanity. So I assume that he's going to go from planet to planet and maybe even universe to universe if he's allowed to do what he wants to do. And he's basically spending all of this time on Earth. There's no Trunks. He could have literally destroyed everything. Even with Trunks, he could have destroyed everything. He could kick Trunks' butt. But Black has gotten significantly stronger anyway. So now at this point, he literally could do whatever he wants to do, but he's just not doing it. So I don't know why he basically takes pleasure in torturing the humans if his goal and his motives are for justice. That's not justice, bro. Because even if you have a villain that thinks that their motives are correct, which makes a great villain, by the way, I do love that. He thinks that everything he's doing is right. Him taking some sort of like sadistic pleasure in torturing these humans just isn't really, textbook. It's not really, it doesn't make sense to say that you're from a higher plane and you're trying to do this and you're trying to do that and build a utopia, things like a utopia, like seriously, but you're basically taking your sweet ass time when you could have been done with Earth literally probably the same day that you started freaking terrorizing it. But enough of that little tangent. Basically, what happens is they leave, and Goku and Vegeta decide who is going to fight Black. Wink, wink, it's Vegeta. They even go ahead and go, Sai Shoaku. And I was like, John Ken. And so they're playing rock, paper, scissors. So basically, obviously, Vegeta won, and they basically go ahead and go to a remote location and signal Black, and Black shows up popping through the clouds, and I'm like, bro, that's a hell of an entrance. This guy knows how to make an entrance. He always kind of does that, making these entrances like that. So I really do enjoy the way that he arrived there, and at that point, as soon as he shows up, he's basically like, okay, I thought that I destroyed the time machine, and Vegeta's just like, oh, I'm going to beat you down with this Super Saiyan Blue. And he goes straight into it, no plan. And at that point, Black starts clapping. He's applauding him. And Trunks is like, this guy's not surprised by this. He's seeing Super Saiyan Blue as if he's familiar with it already. And he starts clapping. I'm like, bro, this guy is a savage, man. He's just like, oh, okay. And then he teleports right in front of Vegeta, or he either moves really fast or he teleports, whatever the case is. He got right in Vegeta, and he's in his face. He's got his fingers on his chin, like he's raising him up, like he's checking him out. And I'm like, bruh, this guy has gotten that much stronger. And Black is like, oh, so this is what the Saiyan warrior race looks like, garbed in godly ki. And I was like, oh, that's dope, man. He's noting that that's a Super Saiyan God, basically. And, he's like, this is what they look like garbed in ki. And he's like, that's impressive to think that a mortal could get this far. So they basically begin fighting, and Vegeta's just pummeling him. He's going through buildings and shit like that. This doesn't happen very often in Dragon Ball. I do love when they use this type of scenery and locale for fights. It just doesn't happen very often. I haven't seen buildings in Dragon Ball Z, like them actually fighting in Dragon Ball Z, like in buildings, probably since like the history of Trunks, to be honest. If somebody let me know if they've seen it. Otherwise, I haven't thought about it really, but that's what comes to mind. I want to say like the androids a little bit, but that not too much really went down aside from destruction in the city. But that's just a side note. So Vegeta's pummeling him and pummeling him, pummeling him. Black is still in his base form at this point, and midway through the pummel, the animation is really good in this episode, by the way. Midway through the pummels, Black stops and he's like, no, Vegeta stops because Black smirks and he's like, whoa, what was that feeling I just got? And Black is like, oh, you've come very far. Let me show you something cool. And he transforms straight into Super Saiyan Rose, or Rose, whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter. It'll probably be pronounced Rose whenever it comes to, English. It gets dubbed in the US. But anyways, he transforms and he was like, don't you think this is beautiful? The color is beautiful. And he was like, I'm going to call this Super Saiyan Rose. I'm pretty sure he made that up right on the spot. But, and kind of in relation to Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan Blue. So he transforms. And at that point, he's like, Vegeta, your time is done. Know your place. And I'm like, bruh. He's literally saying stuff to that effect. Like, man, your chance is over. And Vegeta doesn't like that. Obviously, he's Vegeta. So he flies back up to him to kind of try to head and he flies back up to try to continue the fight. And there's a moment where like Black throws a punch and Vegeta blocks it. And I was like, oh snap, Vegeta's still in this shit, bro, my man Vegeta. But, they continue going. Vegeta's just flying on him and wailing on him and wailing on him. And then at that point, Black basically channels his inner Kuwabara. He has been hanging out with Togashi, and he basically channels the Spirit Sword. I think I just said that last time when we saw Zamasu do the same thing. And he slices straight through his chest. And this is like, whoa. And he was like, Vegeta, I told you your time was over. Now look what happened. You were basically the warm-up. And I was like, bruh. I'm not surprised, man. Like, seriously, the show does this thing where they make Vegeta the trope to build up Goku. I'm sorry. Dragon Ball Super is their show, both of them, because it's all about them and their progression. But at the end of the day, Goku is the Batman to Vegeta's Robin, So they basically put Vegeta in this situation every single time. And this always happens in Dragon Ball Z. With Frieza, with Cell, it just always happens to where Vegeta is basically the appetizer and Goku's the main course, So basically, that's what happens here once again. And Vegeta falls out of the sky. Trunks tends to him, and Goku immediately goes Super Saiyan Blue. And Trunks notes, oh, I didn't know Goku could go Super Saiyan Blue as well. He's fighting with his full power. Goku tells him to go tend to Vegeta and flies up there to begin the battle with Black. And Goku is noticing the blade, of course, so he's obviously fighting him, but he's avoiding the blade. Trunks thinks that Goku's holding his own, but he's really not. Vegeta's like, no, he's not. Because Vegeta's kind of incapacitated, but he's still conscious, of course. So he's there and he's noticing this. And Goku's basically on the ropes. So he can't do anything. And he's getting knocked around. And then Black gets down and he's about to shoot a Kamehameha at him. And then out of nowhere, from the heavens, Zamasu appears. And Zamasu's like, hey, that's enough. I'm going to be the one to kill Goku. And I was like, bruh. So hold on. For starters, okay, how does Zamasu know about Goku? I really have to continually take time aspects of this arc with a grain of salt, because Toriyama himself said so in an interview, because it would legitimately make no sense for this Zamasu to know Goku, because Goku wouldn't have ever came to that Universe 10 realm of Kaioshin like the one did in the past a moment ago, because Goku would be dead in this timeline, so it would make no sense because they would have no interaction. But I don't know. So maybe they're trying to do this thing where it's like one timeline where he fought him way in the past and he knows about him and all that stuff, and that's the premise to why he does what he does now. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. They'll explain it. Hopefully, probably, maybe not. I don't know. But, you kind of got to take a lot of it with a grain of salt. And from there, the episode basically ends. Now, another thing I wanted to kind of point out with Zamasu, man, is he's interesting. He really is, because he's not the same character as Black. I don't know if Black is some sort of puppet, if it's just Goku's body revived, or what it is at this point. They both have the same Potara earring on and things like that. They both use similar skills. That has to be Goku's body because of the way it adapted and basically the Zenkai boost it got. And Black even notes that he got stronger in the fight with Vegeta. I don't know how literal that is, but he got stronger to a degree at least. Now, I mean, it has to be Goku's body. So I don't know where this is going at this point, but I think it's really shaping up to be a really good arc. Black is a very good villain. He really is. He's got a lot of substance to him, to be honest, because he has legitimate motivations aside from, I just want to be stronger, I just want to kill Goku, I just want to rule the world. He has legitimate motivations, and he's got this twisted mentality where he thinks everything he does is right, and that is the thing about him that is so intriguing. And also to say that he is from a higher plane and things like that, and basically the dialogue we've gotten from this character in this arc is really just kind of polarizing. So I think he's a very interesting character, to be honest. And the Super Saiyan Rose transformation, or Rose, whatever it is, I really like it. I think it fits him really well. I know that the pun is the Black Rose and stuff like that, and I really do enjoy it, man. It's very symbolic for him. It is a recolor of Super Saiyan Blue. It is also basically a rename. It's like a very simple name, just like the same naming scheme. But it does fit his character really well. And Nozawa did a fantastic job in this episode. The animation was really well done. I had a few other things I wanted to talk about, to be honest. I don't know what they were anymore, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump out of here. And if I basically remember what they are, I'll drop individual videos in the middle of the week. So let me know your favorite part of the episode. Let me know how you felt about the fight, the Vegeta treatment, and things like that. And subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.